Hello, man. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to apologize for not being here live for the last couple weeks, perhaps more. I've actually been a little under the weather, or under the fang, as it were, and I was unable to speak. Um, yeah, well, I could talk, but it was like really, there's a lot of problems. But I've got this really important subject that I want to talk to you guys about that I've been mulling over for the last few weeks now because it's very important and it's critical. It really is to everything that we're going through as men, MGTOW, society, civilization. Thanks for stopping by, people. I think YouTube has shadow banned me, so none of my stuff gets distributed to my subscribers, and it's just like not promoted on YouTube at all. It's very unusual. I've got a few explanations for it, and it actually ties in, excuse me one second, to this topic that I want to talk about, right? Why the left, why media just totally favors the left. Can you guys hear me okay? This setup is just like not good, I'm outdoors, I'm struggling for a little, a clean audio space, things like that. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Ace Cool. Remember, my fellow brothers, they go to Dubai to have men poop on them and okay. Well, thanks for the comment. Let's see. Okay. I don't know. But thanks for stopping by, bro. My previous video that I just uploaded this morning, why women love big daddy government. It's a good video. It's an important video. Now, when I say it's good, I mean it's informative and has useful knowledge in it and ideas to wrap your head around. I don't mean like, it's entertaining, there's a TikTok girl dancing, I don't mean that, but the question, becomes, why is that TikTok girl dancing so, the means of our distribution of information? One second. So these are some of the questions, we're dealing with. Now, previous video, I got to walk around a little bit and get myself a little space. Previous video, why women love big daddy government. This is a critical, situation and issue because right out of the womb, males and females are behaving differently. The women vastly prefer the female children, right? They favor them, they treat them better and things like that. But right from the beginning, the female, the girls are looking to facial expressions and emotional cues that will, enable them to understand and interact, whereas the boys could care less. Little baby boy doesn't care about the face that's over the crib. He does for a little while. But after that, no, man, he's playing with his fire trucks and things like that, making noises, moving the trucks over the landscape, transforming the world. This is built into the male nature. It's almost like saying, well, look at the birds, okay? It's the male birds who build the nest. And if you don't realize that this entire civilization, this entire society is one big giant nest for the women, okay, to have their children and for their children to be taken care of in the manner that they want. That's what this is. And it's men and their technology that built it. And if we undercut that, you know what I mean? Like, well, hey, we've been undercutting it for the last 50 years, okay? What's the result? What's the result? Generations of men who can't deal, with the situation? You think the other countries are doing this? You think China is doing this with their kids? This ties into why media favors the left. This problem that men are facing, that strong, independent individuals are facing, it's baked in to the system. It's built in. This is like, we are at the lowest level, okay? By the time that we, as just individual people, are interacting with culture, with society, we are so far downstream that it's crazy. We are at the bottom of the pyramid, okay? We are nowhere near the top of the pyramid. And this is why media favors the left, okay? Imagine if you had a social cause and something that ran counter to the current prevailing views, to the current status quo, all right? Like perhaps gay marriage, right? Now, you're a hired professional, you're a marketer, you're an advertising expert with connections all over the world, all over the country, into many major publications, okay? What you do is you reshape people's views, opinions, ideas to accept your products, okay? And in this case, your product is something like gay marriage, okay? Or, well, hell, okay, fine. The whole idea of transgender within schools, okay? Within, children's schools. All right, so you've been hired to promote this. They paid you, millions of dollars. What are you going to do? And if you'll think about it, give yourself, mull over this subject, as we move forward, you would start putting out views and opinions that coincide with your worldview, okay, with what you want the people to accept. And you would use some nasty tactics, you know what I mean? Like you would pretend that this new type of social behavior, this new social norm is in fact perfectly acceptable and exactly what we've been, working towards. And if someone had the audacity, the nerve to disagree with it, you would shame them. You would rip them to pieces. You would have people that had already bought in to your advertising marketing campaign. And when this person expressed their views counter to this, commercial that these people have been sucked into, they would rip them to pieces. They would say, you're a bad man. You're toxic. We can't have people like you. And this social agenda, okay, would, over the years, by putting it in the publications, by talking about it on talk shows, by putting stories in the newspaper, by publicly shaming anybody who disagreed with it, you would shift the cultural perception. You would shift the Overton window, okay, over to the left. Now, so boom, that's what media and advertising is doing. It's trying to sell us things that we don't know that we want or even agree with. Okay? So that's their agenda. So if you come to them and you say, I want to advertise the idea of individual personal responsibility, okay? There's no reason for them to get involved in that. There is no profit for them to get involved with that. They want mindless drones who follow their media. Okay? And now media has seeped into almost every single aspect of the individual life, right? Hey, are you on TikTok? Are you on Facebook? Are you on YouTube? Did you get my email? Did you get my message? Did you get my text? Okay? It's everywhere. And the main focus of this message, okay, that the media is putting out is that your current values are not in line with the current cultural social norms, and you need to step up. And as a result, okay, this is where it gets a little mind-blowing, okay? As a result, a site like TikTok takes off like crazy. Think about it. It's beautiful, right? The users are creating the content. So TikTok doesn't have to pay anything for its content, okay? It's promoting the stuff which is most popular, not the most value, not the most informative, not the most intelligent, not the most finely crafted, okay? The most popular. So the prettiest girl in the skimpiest outfit, okay, is getting the views. That's all there is to it, right? Now, the platform is promoting this, okay? Understand that they're promoting it to their, shall I say, stupidest viewers. It's the lowest common denominator, okay? Now, here's the thing. Our cultural values, okay, our individual ethics by which we govern and run our lives are dictated to us by an attractive girl dancing on TikTok, and the platform will make sure that she gets 10 million views. Whereas the Howard Dare video discussing this particular topic, right, it won't even get distributed out to my subscribers. One way you can tell if YouTube is helping you or not, I know some of you are content creators, go into your analytics and look on the section of existing users versus unique new users, okay? It's a dark blue line for existing, users. How many of your viewers, how many of your subscribers are watching your content? And then there's the other light blue little, thing. And it says how many new people who have not seen your stuff before are seeing your stuff. And this indicates how much YouTube is showing your thumbnail, okay, on pages, to people that they think might be interested in your content on their home pages. So if the dark blue line is above the light blue line, that means that you're bringing in more viewers than YouTube is supplying you with, okay? It's a hell of a way to grow, right? It's a really tough way to grow. It's really hard. And a lot of you can see this by looking on your channels, and the struggles that you're having. Yes, your content is getting out to your subscribers, but YouTube is not promoting it very much on the other, on the platform itself. Otherwise, the light blue line would go above the dark blue line. And if you'll think about it from just a simple mathematic point of view, the moment any channel can get more of the dark blue existing subscribers to come and view their content versus new users that YouTube would have to show the video to and then, get the clicks on it from, indicates that YouTube should, in fact, indeed promote that particular channel. Because that means that it's got a user base that's enthusiastic about their videos, right? So increase the size of that user base and boom, you've got more people viewing YouTube. But they don't do that. Interesting, isn't it? Or at least not with some videos. So that's how you can tell if YouTube is, trying to help you out or not, right? Now, this comes into an interesting, topic. Why would a channel that talks about a woman, like a younger, attractive woman, talking about her requirements for her, male companions and partners, and then lacing into this video from this one individual person, why would this video get 100,000 views? And why would an analysis of this situation that we're facing only get a few thousand views? Both MGTOW, right? Both talking about the same thing, right? But remember, media favors a leftist, subversive message, okay? So if you're going to put a picture of a girl dancing on TikTok into the video, it doesn't matter what you say. I watch a lot of science fiction. Well, I don't watch a lot of it. I watch some science fiction, okay? Star Trek, right? How many times in a Star Trek episode have they said, there's an unidentified message coming off the ship, and it's piggybacked on top of another signal. It was hidden, okay? This is like, one of their regular tropes, right? It's like, we didn't catch the broadcast because, it was piggybacking on the back of our subspace signal, right? Okay. The message is hidden within another message, okay? What I'm telling you right now is that the delivery system of our values, of our ideas through social media, that being the delivery system, is toxic right from the start, okay? Because it's going to favor a subversive, leftist, change your cultural value set of messages. This is why, all right, you'll never get decent behavior promoted on media. There's just no reason for it. That's not what they do, okay? They're in the business of changing you, changing me, changing the individuals to go along with this marketing campaign. And it behooves them, see, I love to use that word, right? Every chance I get, I use behooves them. So it behooves them to promote subversive, leftist, undercutting messages, right? So that's the system we're in. Any message you're getting is coming from a source that has an agenda to subvert your values. Right? Now, get this. You know who owns TikTok, don't you? Come on, you guys. Let's see. Let me look in the comment section. Anybody know who owns TikTok? Howard Dare. They are watching you. And for sure, shadow banding, anything helping men. Indeed. Indeed. Anything that has a positive social message, why would they promote that? Why? How does that? It doesn't help them. You know what I mean? It's almost like you've been hired to promote a rock concert. You're not going to book religious, revival singers at the same place. You know what I mean? It's a totally different kind of situation. So here we are trying to get value out of social media, and it's entertainment. You know what I mean? When TV was first invented, the idea was, wow, this is going to be great. We can bring culture, we can bring education, we can bring knowledge to the masses. And they tried, and they did, to a degree. Like, this is a live broadcast of, the New York Metropolitan Opera. This is a live broadcast of the heavyweight fight. This is a live broadcast of an important political speech. But, of course, the people, the viewers, they would rather come home and watch, a 30-minute sitcom comedy than sit down and watch the New York Metropolitan Opera, right? They would rather watch TikTok videos. They would much rather. So we are far downstream at this stage. I know we all want to think like, this is where the decisions are made. This is where the buck stops. But it's not. This is the lowest level. This is the individual level. Understand that art, politics, media, all of it, all of this entertainment stuff is downstream of ethics, all right? These messages, what we do, okay, is in line with what we believe. Ethics, right? Understand, most people, they don't have it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying like they're evil people. I'm just saying that this is not a concern that's, occupying, space in their mind. Ethics. Now, further, so that's upstream of politics, of art, of entertainment, of media. You understand that, right? I'm asking this like a question, right? Like you can respond. You could in the comment section, but you do understand that what we do stems from what we believe, right? And those are ethics. Now, keep moving backwards. where do the ethics come from, right? Because you could just make up anything, couldn't you? You could just say, hey, I want to just, steal from people. And ethically, this is the thing to do. Survival of the fittest. I'm helping the genetic pool. So where do we get our ethics? How do we decide, what's worthy, what we should do, what we shouldn't, whether or not we should cheat somebody or not cheat somebody, whether we should keep our word or not keep our word, whether or not we should stop at a red light in the middle of the desert, in the middle of the night, or just drive right through, right? When to hire people, when to fire people. Well, these ethical considerations are determined by how we view existence, metaphysics, okay? And it's not just that. It's metaphysics with epistemology. In other words, it has to be valid, right? Like, yeah, you can't just make shit up. Well, you can, but if you don't have the logical, substantial proof behind it, it has no epistemology. Okay, the worldview is just unfounded. It's invalid. It really does go straight back to us. The unexamined life is not worth living. Well, the unexamined opinion is not worth having. And the unexamined idea, as far as, this is how this works, if it's unexamined, it's like, maybe it's right. There's a chance that you got it right. But it's unexamined. It's untested. Okay? This is the epistemology of our metaphysical view of the world. And from that comes our ethics. Now, we don't usually think about it, at this level. We just kind of go along with the people around us. What if the people around us are a whole bunch of TikTok watchers that basically have about a 30-second attention span and just want to see something entertaining? And if at the end of that little video, that person says, vote for Biden, or any message, and the platform is promoting it, and views and value is determined by then what do you get? You get a culture that's dictated to by media, putting out the opinions that they want people to have, expressed by other people that they're not even paying, right? You just get to pick them. And that's it. That's the determining factor of our cultural values. That's why we're going down the tubes. That's why people have no motivation. That's why people are uninspired. Okay, this is why the men are going their own way. We often ask the question, where have all the good men gone? They've gone MGTOW. That's where they've gone. Are there good men that are not MGTOW? Sure, of course there are. But let's be honest. But I don't know. Man worships women. You know what I mean? Rose before hose, right? He'll sell you out in the blink of an eye. You know that, right? I'm sorry, right? So there's your best friend, and, he's got your back, and then there's a pretty woman. And guess what? He doesn't have your back. He's chasing the woman. You know that. I mean, it's true for, most men are like, yeah. So what an interesting set of values that we have been indoctrinated and conditioned to accept, right? Of course, it's because the women starve men of affection and approval, so that, it's now an extremely valuable thing. What could men withhold from women? Okay? They could withhold resources. You know that. But of course, now, with government in charge of the distribution of our resources, that can't be done. So, you're screwed. Yeah. And the media, where, we're getting our information, has its own agenda. It will not promote the things that make you strong. It will promote the things and deliver the message in such a fashion that we will go along with the group. It's conditioning, it's brainwashing, and it's with an agenda, with a purpose. And this is the one to wrap your head around. It's systemic. It's all around. It's not Oh, and in this individual case, they're doing this. They're treating people who disagree with them like, bad people, like evil people. No, they're doing this all the time. Okay, this is the delivery system. And within that delivery system, we as individuals, our values, our ethical considerations have been broken down that the girl dancing on TikTok now dictates who the next president is. All we have to do is swing it a few points in any one direction. Now, let me get back to the whole TikTok. You know who owns it, right? China owns it. Okay? It's through a company called ByteDance or ByteDancer. And they run it in China, but they don't run it the way we do. So a European American version was created, but China still owns the majority of it. And there's a law in China which says this particular company has to give over all of its data, not just where you click, not just what products you've looked at before you came to their site, which are in the cookies. Could have called it candy, right? But all of it, okay? Every click, every pause, every lingering of the mouse, all of it. Now, the United States military has been forbidden to have TikTok on their devices, okay? The United States government have been forbidden to have TikTok on their devices. They have been told that they should erase these apps from their children's devices. Okay? That's got to tell you something right there. But the Chinese version of TikTok does not allow dancing girls on it. Okay? It allows motivational videos of people being successful at work projects. The turning on of an electrical grid, the docking, of a ship, of a large ship going into, its dock, sliding off of its construction rails, group exercise, things like that. They also limit the amount of time their children can access this type of entertainment, even though theirs is, culturally, reinforcing. Whereas if ours is culturally destructive, and it's amazingly popular, right? So what do you think is going on there, right? You've got a whole bunch of Chinese kids watching an app that their government, has put out essentially and owns essentially, and they can only use it for culturally enriching ways. But the version that you've got over here, right, encourages young females to behave in a sexual manner. And it's very popular, especially with the young men. Hey, go figure that, man. Who was the marketing genius that figured that one out, right? So what's going on? Where is this going to lead? Where are we going to be in another 10 years, in another 5 years? Okay. You must know that China is taking over, okay? That if things just stay the way they are and just continue the way they are, simple linear trend forecasting, friends, we're screwed, okay? They control the markets. They decide who gets to come into the tech market. They decide artificial intelligence patents that, run our systems because they're the largest. In other words, they don't need to sell their products within our market. We need to sell our products within their market. So they dictate the terms. Militarily, they're taking over that region. That they want to take over Taiwan. This would, of course, give them the technological stronghold of Southeast Asia. They're building their military bases, garbage islands to extend their reach with the idea that, these are their territorial waters. And of course, Taiwan is within them. So that's what's going on there. And like I said, nothing changes. They're ahead of us in 5-10 years, and they dictate the terms. But now we've got social media. And they own TikTok. They own the company that invented the Chinese version of TikTok, and they own, the controlling portion of, this Western version of TikTok. And it is designed to destroy your social values, for them to be able to insert whatever it is they want for social values. As I said, military is banned from having TikTok on their devices. What does that tell you? It tells you that the Chinese government is using that data to compile profiles of our military. In other words, what videos does, this particular class of military person, where do they stop, right? And with that knowledge, understand what you could do. Understand how you could use media, social media, to distract, to confuse, to demotivate the enemy. That's what's going on, people. I'm sorry. I'm going to check the comments here. Chris Mitchell is here, everybody. There it is, man. The Emperor of Canada. Now, I didn't want to say anything about this, okay? But in order to be an emperor, you need more than one country, okay? In other words, a king is a king or a president over a single country, all right? But an emperor, he controls an empire, okay? So Napoleon could only claim himself an emperor after he had more than one country. Listen, okay? I play Crusaders Kings 3, or is it 2? So I know this stuff, okay? You got your dukes and your duchess and your barons. They get, small parcels of land within the king's kingdom, okay? Sometimes they take over enough of those small areas that they decide to, go up against the king. Now, if that king, keeps his realm in order and then goes out and conquers another realm, yeah, he could be the emperor of those two realms. So, however, in this instance, I am making an exception, okay, because Canada has territories, okay? So, yes, you can be the emperor of Canada. but it has to be all those territories, right?
It's on the shelf, Eva.
Okay. So, like I said, I'm outdoors, people. Oh, I need your guys' support, man. Click on my PayPal donation link and recognize that's not one of those little simple PayPal me links. That's a real PayPal link, a real business link. So go ahead and click on it, and it's going to ask you how much money to donate to the Howard Dare channel. And do what you can, right? I mean, my situation is such that if you'll donate $5 to me, that means I get to eat that day, so it's a big deal. And MGTOW has really stepped up and taken care of Howard Dare. I've gotten some new equipment, and I'm sorry about, putting up the older videos. And, I haven't been coming on live, so that sucks. Ooh, this looks like a nice long comment here. I'm putting this up here. I may not. Ooh, wait. Ooh, this is good stuff. Here, check this one out. Let's see. This is from Real Talk, and he says, the Jays have been in China longer than they've been in the U.S. I don't know. The Jays are the army that CC that ended Martin Luther in the 1500s. Yeah, well, Martin Luther has always been one of my favorite topics, right? Because, he's a man who stands for integrity. He sees that the Catholic Church is letting people buy their way into heaven, and no. And further, the idea being, of course, that man's connection with God is through the church. This was the prevailing idea. But of course, Martin Luther is stepping up and saying, no, each individual has his own relationship with God. And of course, every individual can read the Bible because of the printing press. So, boom. You know, it was a big deal. But I imagine baby Martin Luther, you know, going around his house and nailing up lists of demands, right? Like, this is just how he operates, you know? He just, you know, because often, you know, I'm thinking about, excuse me, the icon on here. Well, I seem to have lost my connection, ladies and gentlemen. I am not getting any updates here on my screen. I don't know what's going on. I must have become disconnected somehow. Wait a minute. Maybe I'm back now. Am I back? Can you guys hear me okay? All right. Sorry, people. Sorry. Like I said, a little technical difficulty going on right there. Just getting the things. I'm out here on a handheld Android tablet. I have upgraded, you know, thanks to your guys' generosity. I've got a laptop, but I don't have it in a place where I can sit down and talk. You know what I mean? And the idea of taking a whole laptop outside and sitting down, it's a little tricky, you know, with a condenser mic and stuff like that. So boom, I'm just like, well, the quality is not here, you know, but at least you know, at least we're here, right? At least we're getting something done. You know, I mentioned something last night. Okay, I was over on MGTOW Values live stream. Go check it out. He's talking a lot about Russia this morning too. You know, the whole Ukraine situation. And it occurred to me that this is the real MGTOW. Okay, I'm sorry, and I'm not saying anything bad about the other channels. I'm not saying they're not real. I'm not doing that. Okay, what I'm saying to you is that once a channel gets to a certain size, it has to worry about its subscribers very, very much. In other words, you can't just say what you want to say anymore. If you've got, you know, 50,000, 100,000 subscribers, one sec, and you say something that goes against, you know, the particular, you know, subject and, you know, topics that you're in. Well, first of all, if it's not on topic, they're not going to really view it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know, my channel, originally, it got hacked. It really did. So there was this channel with like 75,000 subscribers, and it was taken over by, I guess she bought it, like Asian fashion, right? They're putting out, you know, Asian fashion videos. And I guess the MGTOW, you know, subscribers to the channel just, you know, weren't into it. So there's that one consideration. And then, you know, the other consideration is if you say something that goes counter to the prevailing status quo of your, you know, topic, your niche, your people are going to turn on you. They're going to get angry. It's like, you know, you've got 50,000 subscribers. You say, you know, you talk about the wrong thing in the wrong way, and you have 49,000 subscribers, not 51. So they have to be very careful. For example, I need to make a video. I'm going to make a video about this particular subject, okay, why media favors the left, because I think it's really important. And, you know, you see this utterly destructive, you know, message on these various social media platforms. You see this very leftist, you know, very gynocentric message on all of the social media platforms, right? Like they're kicking people off of Patreon, you know, for not having views that go along with, you know, their views. They're kicking people off of Patreon for having views on other platforms, right? So Patreon is going over to your Twitter feed, if you have one, and boom, saying, oh, we don't like what they said over here. We're shutting them down. Right? It's you know, it's the ugliest aspect of, you know, punishing people for free speech you know? So I need, so I'm going to make that video because it's important. And I have another video I want to make, all right? And the video is called The Heroic Female, right? So MGTOW hears that and says there are no heroic females. But of course there are. You know what I mean? Of course there are individuals who, are doing, great stuff and overcoming ridiculous odds and fighting the good fight. Of course there are, and nothing wrong, with looking at some of these women and saying, wow, she's doing some good work. I admire that. Good for her, But of course, if I make that video, understand, much of my MGTOW audience is going to say, F you, Howard. How dare you? Right? How dare you? Right? I'm like one of the only people who can actually, step outside and give opinions that are not like popular and part of the group, Um, but I got a comment the other day. This is so typical. I used to get a lot of these comments. Okay, which it's some young guy. It's like, oh my God, who does this guy think he is? Guys, don't believe him. He's bitter. He's angry. He's been hurt. Learn to be happy. Don't listen to him. Right? And I used to respond to these messages when I was first on YouTube. It's like, wow, you really are skating uphill, aren't you? But it's like all of a sudden all the subscribers to the channel are going to be like, you're right, we're going to your channel. We're unsubscribing here, we're subscribing over there. Like that's what the person's thinking maybe. But of course, they're also probably thinking, these are the accepted cultural, social views that we're allowed to have. And this person is, going against that. And boom, let's punish them. Because this is how it works. This is our system. This is not the Socratic method. This is not the scientific method. Okay, that's not what's determining what's going on here. This is who's the most popular, who gets the most views, who gets the most likes. And the way you get that is by giving people exactly what they want. Duh. Right? It's not oh so hard to figure out. I think oso means bear in a language. Oso. And I'm so thrilled by that little connection. Yeah, so I just smile at those types of comments now. I don't bother with them. One time, I got one of those comments, and I started baiting the person into, complaining more about how, he was a real man. And the thread started to become very popular, and of course I pinned it, and before you know it, well, a little bit of time, there's like 1,000 replies to this guy and his, feminist, gynocentric worldview, So that video went from, maybe getting 10,000 views, like getting 50,000 views, simply because this one guy, started trying to hit me with the gynocentric bullshit. But I can do that. Okay, I can do that. I don't fucking care. But get me up to 75,000, and maybe I would care. No, I wouldn't. I never did. But that's what it is. So the MGTOW message is, of course, being co-opted, right? It's already not MGTOW. It's already just red pill, And of course, from there, it's popular red pill. Okay, so these channels have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Okay, wow, they must be really, really good at making videos. No, they're okay. You know what I mean? But YouTube promotes them, and YouTube doesn't promote some others. Why? Because they have the agenda. They have a leftist, subversive agenda. And every commercial you see, every book, every magazine article has the same thing. And half of the time, 90% of the time, when you're talking to somebody, they're spewing out what has been put into them. They don't know anything more than what they have been taught. Knowing things is a whole new cycle. You know what I mean? Yeah, you've got to be able to take the data that you've got, the information that you've got, your metaphysical interpretation of the situation, and you need to subject it to this rigorous epistemology. How many people are going to do that? Not many. From that process, okay? Only from that process are you going to form a valid way of behaving and acting in this world. Those are ethics, right? Now, once those are determined, I've said this before, these are going to determine your art, your media, your politics, okay? So we are downstream. We are underneath those things. Understand, it is the metaphysical, epistemological, ethical view of the world that dictates those lower things. So when people are saying, you know, oh, philosophy is not important, making money is important, doing work is important. No, it is the idea, it is the philosophy that comes first. And that's what we respond to. And what media wants to do is they want to bypass your internal epistemological rigorous process that you are going to subject the world to and accept their popular marketing advertised view. And if you don't, if you express views like MGTOW contrary to this prevailing view, they will hurt you, they will harm you, they will shame you, they will abuse you, they will ostracize you, they will mock you, okay? You will not get the approval of the group. So that's what we're dealing with. Now, consider this, all right? I'm a 59-year-old man. I've been through a lot of shit, okay? I listen to people, I listen to their ideas, I think about them, but it's me who decides ultimately, or at least I like to think so, right? What about, what about some of you guys, you're just, you're getting started, right? In your 20s and stuff. The boss, comes into the office and says, feminism is a worthy topic, a worthy subject. We need to support this, What are you going to say? You're going to disagree with him? You're going to have an argument or a debate with him? Well, go find a new job. That's what it is. Are you working for somebody who can allow you to have an opinion different from their own and not, be personally offended and take it out on you? Probably not. Probably not. It's interesting. I'm planting seeds here, okay? I don't know what my future holds. My future has been very precarious for the last few years. You guys know this. I can't go into it in detail, but, I don't know if I'm going to, be around in a day or two. So every day is like that. I can go with my own opinion. You know what I mean? I'm used to it. I've been out here for a long, long time. Shit, I enjoy it. But when I was younger, no, man, I wasn't going to be that crazy. I wasn't going to be that stupid. I say stupid. I had my ideas, okay? And I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was, and I didn't have the words and the concepts and the ideas to express it. That's what I'm trying to share with you. Just these ideas, just these concepts. You decide. Take the ideas, think them over, subject them to critical analysis, compare them, with other ideas. And then you, individually, your own man, your own individual, make your decisions. And that's a seed worth planting, in my opinion, because I need a world where people can think for themselves, where people can stand up for what they believe in, where we can make a future worthy of our participation in it. What are you doing day to day? Of course, you're getting by. We're all getting by, okay? We all have our physical needs to take care of in any given day. what are you actually doing for the future, for your own future is what I'm saying. And what you're doing, whether you realize it or not, is you're trying to make the future a little better. So if your situation is really difficult, like mine is right now, I can't work. I cannot go get a job. Okay, I have legal restrictions on me that stop me from doing things. Okay, so I'm here, also at great risk. But I'm planting these seeds. When I was first on YouTube a few years back, a lot of these channels that are really big now were just starting up. Okay. And, I helped them. I gave shout outs, I brought them on to podcasts. I talked about their channels. I suggested people go view their videos. They don't do that with the smaller MGTOW channels, right? So I helped them get big. Okay. Then I had to shut down for a while, so now I come back, but they don't help. Now, they don't have to help me. I'm fine. Like I said, I like it this way. I like the whole organic, self-created situation. Like I would rather have, how many people do we have here right now? 24 people, okay, that actually believe in MGTOW principles than 240 people who, are kind of a little red pill, right? I don't need to plant those seeds. I got other people planting those seeds because I planted the seed that let them plant that seed. Get it? Okay, now I'm planting different seeds. Now I'm planting seeds into you, my listeners, with these ideas. And the critical thing is not that you take these ideas and accept them. The critical thing is that you take these ideas and you examine them. And then you become able to express your version of these ideas, your twist, your slant on these ideas, right? Because the ability to express your ideas, get them out into the public, get other people to listen to them, to accept them, to believe in them. This is the determination of your success largely in life, period. Your ability to communicate. This is, in many ways, a new communication platform, right? Very exciting. But the same old world legacy interests want control of it. And they have control of it. And control of it means control of us. As a platform, as media becomes more transparent, the people come to accept it more and more as just a normal part of their regular life. So, for example, when the telephone first came out, and it was hard to use, and the connections were poor, and had a lot of static on them, people didn't use the phone very much, and they didn't put much credence within the phone. Here's a funny story. We always evaluate new technology relative to old, existing technology. Very rarely do we get individuals who can see a new technology, can evaluate it on its own, and then start to use it on its own. And this is why Google, okay, is the number one search engine in the world. And this is why Yahoo, not so much. Not so much. So they invent the telephone, right? And they come to the business owner and they say, we've got to install these devices. These things are great. They will allow you to pick up the phone and call your competitor, on the other side of town. Business owner doesn't understand this. First of all, why would I want to talk to my competitor? Okay, I don't need to talk to him. But secondly, that's not how we do things here. That's not how it operates at all. Okay, what we do, what existing technology dictates we do, is that we call a messenger boy. And we give him a message, and he runs it across town. Maybe he waits for a reply, or maybe another messenger comes back the next day with the reply. So, his response was, why do I need a telephone to call the secretary, to call the messenger boy, to come and pick up the message and deliver it across the town? He couldn't get the idea that he could simply call the person to whom he wished the message to go to and speak directly to them, because it was new technology. Now, there's an episode of Deadwood, the really great HBO miniseries about, the West, formation of the railroads and things like that. And at one point, they're bringing the telegraph into the city, well, into the town. One sec. And the main character, Al Swearingen, I believe it is, he pretty much runs the town. He runs the gambling, he runs the prostitution, he runs everything like that. Sorry, people, one sec. And they're putting in the telegraphs, and he's talking with one of his workers, and workers like, wow, isn't this great? We're going to have the telegraph here. We're going to be able to communicate instantaneously. Blah 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 blah. And Al says, what the hell do I need the telegraph for here in my town? I don't need them fucking knowing what I'm doing, and they don't need to know what the hell I'm doing. Right? So it's an invasion. In other words, this new technology is now inserted itself into our daily life. And as the technology improves, okay, as it becomes more transparent, like, you can't even tell you're using it, the people come to accept it more and more. And hey, I'm sure you've all got robocalls, right? I'm sure you've all got telemarketing calls, okay? So at some point, the media becomes this means by which to convert the people. And understand, you're not always selling a product. You're not always selling a new car, a new watch. Sometimes you're selling the idea of gay marriage. So, to a large degree, our values, our ethics, our worldview has been determined by media that is favoring, playing to our lowest common denominator, which is simply popularity, which is simple basic entertainment, okay? Now, that there is a subversive aspect of this, okay? That if you sit around and watch media, 18 hours a day, it's the rest of your life is, gonna suffer for it. You know that. Everybody knows that. But we do it anyway. Right? Excuse me. Because it's transparent. It's seamless. It's easy to use. It's where all the people are. It's where the cultural social message is getting out. So understand that if you can control the means by which people get their information, and then very subtly shape that information towards what you want, understand that this process itself is valuable, is priceless. Okay? This is why the military says no TikTok on any military personnel's devices. Okay? Not you can have it on there and not use it and don't get caught. No, it can't be on. All right? And we recommend that you take it off your kids' things too. Right? And now look at how China's using TikTok. You can research this. Byte dance or byte dancer. And understand that there is this agenda. Western civilization is, a mass-marketed, mass media group of people who follow trends, who don't have strong values, who don't have values. Their values are what's popular. You know what I mean? Who are you voting for? right? So, well, if that's what's popular, you better go along with it. Here, I'll tell you something, okay? I am not a huge fan of rap music. Some of it's got a decent beat. Some of it's got, I don't know, just not a fan of it. But if I'm in a vehicle, guess what we're listening to? And guess what the other people in that vehicle are singing along to? Rap music. What's popular? So there I am in a vehicle, cruising down the street, and cranking out of the, speakers is, your basic rap. I try not to let it bother me, but I find it rather distracting. I find it hard to think and things like that with too much of it. Gee, I wonder if that's intentional. I wonder if the idea that I don't, that people are being geared towards having basically, the attention span of a goldfish, right? That's what it is. Okay. That's what, that's a fine metaphor for social media. You know what I mean? We're goldfish. Okay. And we're looking out, through the bowl and we're seeing some stuff and we are just endlessly entertained by it. And, this is what's good. This is our nourishment. This is, what, this is our intellectual nourishment, popularity, trends. And media itself knows that by having programmed and conditioned us to accept this method of informing, that they now can control pretty much what the majority of us think. When I say you, I don't mean you. I mean the majority of other people. See, this is why I don't do videos on individual people, right? I have no desire to pick up. There's some cases where I might do it, like if it's a famous person or somebody is really going out there on a political, social, plank, and walking it. Yeah, maybe I will, respond to it. But for the most part, no. I am not going to make videos about Chris Rock. I'm not going to really make videos about Johnny Depp. Okay? I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to make videos about, Chrissy B's, response to MGTOW and then taking it apart. I'm not going to do it. I don't care about an individual, little situation like that. I care about the ideas. I care about the overarching situation. I want my listeners to be able to understand the dynamics of what's going on around them. I swear to you, it's like we're, at the bottom of a gravity well, at the lowest point on the planet, right? Mountains and everything. And there is war at every level above us, okay? There's war on the hills. There's war on the mountains. There's war in the skies. There's war on the ground that we're on, okay? And it is a cacophony of madness, right? And we are at this low, low level of now we're finding out what's popular, right? Now we're finding out what's trending, okay? And we are overwhelmed. We think that as technology grows, we get more and more choices and more advances in life. But we don't. We just get more and more choices, and they tend to confuse the heck out of us. It would be like being a pilot on a jet and having, a control panel that was 10 feet high. Okay? It's like, let's make it 15 feet high and put more controls on there. It's like, no, that's not really helping anybody control that plane any better. That's confusing the heck out of them. So all this information that we get, that we're barraged with, okay? Yeah, like a war, beating us down at this low level, that's where we're at. That's where I'm at. We need to be able to have a bigger picture, right? What does the general do in a war? He keeps that overall picture, that overall strategic goal, right? And then the people beneath him, are more involved with the tactical attainment of that particular goal. We are not the generals of our own lives, right? We are taking orders from a conglomerate of institutions that wish for nothing more than continued control. So, good luck being happy, right? Good luck finding the things in your life that give your life meaning and purpose. Good luck, because they have been dictated to you You haven't decided them. And again, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people in general, right? You haven't decided them. Media, popularity, culture, society has decided those. And who are you or I to question what millions of people simply accept as factual, as true? And if you do go against them, let's say, you form up your ideas, you sharpen them, you present them. The message itself is not promoted, but it gets out there a little bit. Now you've got almost the entirety of a culture aligned against you. It's not a good feeling. You know what I mean? It's skating uphill. That's what it is. But what's the other side of that? What are you going to do? You going to start downloading TikTok videos? Compiling them into groups and then commenting on them? Is that what you're going to do? To help your fellow man? To share your ideas? Come on. You know that's not what that is. You know that's, wow, she's really hot. Wow, a lot of guys are going to want to watch this. Maybe I'll say a few things. And I better not say anything that upsets my, subscriber base. And that's okay. That's just the way it pans out. And still a lot of good and a lot of, good things can be done, with that. But it's not for me. Okay. Which is not to say that I wouldn't discuss, the Johnny Depp, Amber Heard situation or the Chris Rock or, situation. But it's just not, it's not where I'm, focusing. Ideas, not people, facts, not questionable, representation of statistics. I don't need it. I don't want it. I'm not going to sit here and make some false argument, based on some weak evidence and then stand on it. Somebody else can do that, but I don't need to do that. So, this is what's going on around us. And I think it's, like I said, very important, right? At no time is the media, is going to step forward and say, you guys should tone down social media. You guys should increase self-discipline. You should increase self-reliance. You should learn to go your own way because the group might not always be there for you. You should learn to form your own opinions. Why would media say that? You know what I mean? That's crazy. That would be like doing a television commercial where you said, here's our product. You decide. You just, the way you don't do that, okay? You come on there and you say, this is the exciting new product that's going to revolutionize the way we do business. This is why this product is better than our competitors. It's got a better price. It's bringing more value. And this is what people really love. And then you toss in a few testimonials. You would never go out there and just put it out there. So every message that we're getting has got this media agenda associated with it that basically says we're just going to make them weaker to media saturation and indoctrination. We're going to break them down. We're breaking them down. This product might not get through. This one person might not buy this one product, but all of these people will be that much more likely to cooperate, to do what we want them to do on the next message. Because the determining factor on how they decide these values is popularity. So if you're wondering why you don't have a lot of thoughtful, insightful commentary on your social situation, it's because it's not popular. And popularity is, of course, the deciding factor. So, the class valedictorian is the person who's the most popular, not the best academic, right? The quarterback of the football team is the person who's most popular, not the person with the most skills. Hell of a situation, isn't it? This is what determines, what's good. If any of you, what's going on now? We got 32 people in the house. Let's see, checking out some comments. It's amazing. Oh, thank you, Dark Genius. So as I said, it's philosophy, it's ideas, it's worldview, it's metaphysics, it's epistemology, it's ethics that are determining how we act, what we do, what's important, okay? These things are upstream, they're above us. So to not be trying to shape things, to not understand what's going on at this upper level, is to regulate yourself, to just being at this bottom of this gravity well, where this maelstrom of madness is occurring all around you and all above you, and good luck having a good life. Good luck having meaning and purpose in your life. Good luck reaching any of the worthy human emotions that you are capable of experiencing. Good luck, because you won't have it. You won't get it. I think this is important. I really do. The difference between training people to have their own minds and to make up, decisions for themselves versus, doing whatever it is media, advertisement, marketing tells them to do. Is the conflict that with popularity, it's easier too, right? Oh my gosh, it's terrible, right? Having to analyze things, be all alone, and be on the wrong side of things, and figuring things out, and sometimes figuring them out wrong. Oh shit! Hey, I'm sorry, people. My microphone fell. My bad. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know how long that's been going on for. In the past, my earlier days on YouTube, I've spoken for like 20 minutes without realizing the microphone was off or disconnected. Sorry about that, people. Yeah, it's amazing to me. People make fun of philosophers and religions, and then their entire belief system is abortion and transgender. Well, that's exactly right. And what I'm saying is they don't really have a belief system. They just adopted the views of the people around them, and they will just echo whatever it is those people have been conditioned to say. And it is, by the very nature of the delivery system, subversive, okay? Because if they can't get you to accept the message, they can at least get you to accept the delivery system, okay? And that's TikTok. That's, various social media. Understand, we addict ourselves to this type of input. We make ourselves addicted, okay? They don't have to, right? So, there's a video, it doesn't interest you, swipe, swipe, swipe. There's one that interests you, probably an attractive woman, stop, watch the video. Swipe, swipe, swipe. There's another one, stop, watch the video. Understand, so the user is only, of course, picking out the content that they like, which gives them the happy, feel-good feeling. Right? They get to see the content they want. They get the worldviews and ideas expressed that confirm their biases, right? And they feel great. And then they skip all the other videos, and then they get to another one. So, and it's very addictive, right? Before you know it, you've been sitting there for, 2 hours. And you're only watching the things that give you, the good feeling. And then you shut it down. Like something else comes up, you got to go do something else, you shut it down and you go do your stuff, right? But then you're like, geez, I want to get back on there because I want to get back to those videos that I like, right? So we addict ourselves to this messaging, to the message that we want. So understand, they don't even have to convert the people, okay? They just have to give the people what they want. And the people will sort themselves out into all of their nice little niches and categories. They will see which ones get the most attention, and they will promote those ones. And of course, this will addict people more and more. And again, if the message within the video does not get through, it does not matter, because you've accepted the delivery system. And the next message, or the one after that, or the one after that will get through. And now this becomes what determines our values. Not self-reflection, not the examined life, not the examined opinion, not the scientific method, not the Socratic method, not a dialectic, not a debate, not a conversation, but what the weakest and the stupid of us find amusing and popular, what the laziest aspect of our own nature finds enticing. That's what we're addicted to. From a marketing, from an advertising, from a design, from a, mastermind take over the world point of view. It's beautiful, isn't it? Isn't it? I mean, it really is, man. It's like, I don't even care if you don't get the message. I don't need you to get the message. I toppled the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, says President Brisby. Well, isn't Brisby in Australia? Yeah. Aha! One Fast Act puts the PayPal link out there. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Everybody, go check out One Fast Act's channel. Not only is there, great MGTOW content there, but he can sing. That's right, man. He can woo. He can coo and woo. That most music, that's what it is, right? It's the male, putting out this soothing, seductive, cooing, right? It's the birds, right? The birds are chirping right out here right now. It's the male birds, that are chirping. So it's fascinating how this, basic animal instinct and, foundation within us becomes expressed. And of course, now what we're seeing is this expression of female nature within the institutions, and it's, the school system, the educational system, right? And it's victimizing the boys. It's victimizing the men, and it's done on this. It's predicated on this idea, that women are oppressed and that men, are the oppressors. But this is true throughout all of nature. You know what I mean? The male has a certain role to fill, and it has certain, obligations, and the female has certain roles to fill, and it has certain obligations. And of course, this whole talk is, mitigating the effects of nature. That's what feminism really is, right? She wants to have all the advantages of being a woman, and the attractiveness and everything like that, and she wants all of the strength and all of the responsibility and agency, of being a really strong, powerful man. But of course, being a real strong, powerful man, it's devastating. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know that men actually choose it, or rather, it's like just life just is so hard that they have to, deal with it and overcome it. And yeah, it's the men who can do that. Because biologically the men they're stronger, right? They don't have to give birth. So, there's this. So how are we going to mitigate this natural biological situation that we're in, male, female, right? Well, we're going to institute laws and institutions, and we're going to punish people, and we're going to lift other people up, and we're going to knock other people down to mitigate nature. Now, to a large degree, we do that. You know what I mean? Our houses, our cars, our computers, all of it. Mitigation of nature. That's what it is. I built a house, and I have a fire. Because by nature, I won't make it. So that's what we do. And our medical sciences, you know what I mean? People what? What's the average lifespan now? Man is probably, early 80s. Woman is probably late 80s, somewhere around there. That's pretty good compared to where it was 100 years ago, 50 years ago. So we mitigate nature. That's what we do. We overcome it. Yeah, please check out my other video, right? Check out the video I just uploaded this morning, why women love big daddy government and men love tools, okay? Because we are tool builders. We reshape the world that we're in. That's what man does. And we transform. Look at a city. It's amazing, isn't it? The skyscrapers. You realize that the other civilizations, they don't build skyscrapers. We go in there and we teach them and we build them. They don't build them. They can't build houses that are over 3 or 4 stories high. They just come falling down. I'm sorry. So this idea, it's like, we're all equal, we're all the same. But we're not. But we're not. And of course, we're not allowed to say that. Right? Some people are tall. Some people are strong. Some people are fast. Some people, are really handsome. Bastards. Some people are Chad and Tyrone, right? We're different. Different skills, different abilities. This is the division of labor, the beautiful idea. And I'm pretty sure it was John Locke, who I think was related to Stefan Molyneux. Division of labor. You're tall, so, you pick the fruit. I'm short, so I'll gather it off the ground. Division of labor. There's no unfairness here. How do you mitigate it? Why would you mitigate it? Because the short person wants to feel tall? Because the weak person wants to feel strong? Is that injustice? And if you can mitigate it, should you mitigate it? Or should you let that person, with their particular characteristics, with their particular skills, learn in life how to apply them? Which is better? Give a man a fish or teach him how to fish? So, when I'm here, I'm trying to teach people how to kind of deal with these concepts. That's what it is. Okay, that's what we are. We are the concept manipulators. Okay, levels of abstraction. That's what we have. That's what we do. That's what the human brain does. It categorizes concepts. It makes abstractions. It creates groupings. And it happens right when we're born. You know what I mean? We're looking out at the world and saying, there's a tree, but it's a palm tree. And there's a tree, but it's an oak tree. And yet, they are both trees, but they are different. There's a table, it is furniture. There's a chair, it is also furniture. So at first, it's just like understanding the idea of a table. What the hell is a table? Okay, so the kid gets it. It's like, okay, what's the idea of a chair? Okay, the kid gets the concept of a chair, right? But does he get the concept of furniture, which is this larger abstraction, right? Now, let's go a step further. He gets the idea of furniture. He gets the idea of chair and table, while completely different, are in fact both furniture. Cars and motorcycles. Cars and skateboards. They're both means of transportation, right? But a car is vastly different from a skateboard. Now, here's the thing. This process of concept forming and abstraction cannot have inconsistencies within it. Okay? The human mind, it won't do it. It can't reconcile it. Our concepts, our abstractions, they have to be largely absolute. Otherwise, they're invalid, right? It's like, well, there's a chair and there's a rock, and you could sit on the rock. But the rock is not furniture, but you can sit on it like a chair. And some rocks might even be shaped just like a chair, but it's not furniture. So, Somebody comes to the kid and says, the rock is furniture. The kid says, the normal human mind says, no, it's not. It can be used as a chair. It has, that functionality within it, but it is not furniture. It's like, well, I've just redesigned my house in, Flintstone era decoration. Remember, all their couches and all their chairs and all their shit was made out of stone because it was the Stone Age. The wheels on the car made out of stone. The car itself made out of wood. With the feet running it. I loved the Flintstones when I was a kid. I even liked the Gazoo character who, like Fred got hit in the head one day or something, and he started seeing the Martian Kazoo who would give him advice. Right? What a step, you know what I mean? What a large storytelling step, Here's this story about this prehistoric Stone Age family, which is, of course, destructive to the whole idea of, evolution and, various scientific concepts. But it's okay because it's just, entertainment, just a cartoon, but more made for adults than for kids. Same with the Jetsons, same with Simpsons, prime time. South Park, like an adult only, message on it, but it's a cartoon. Yeah, sometimes I lose my track of where I'm at, you know what I mean? But yeah, big story jump right there to bring in that character into the whole Flintstones, storyline. And if you're wondering how all this relates to MGTOW, and I know you are, have no fear. Howard Dare is here. Let's have no fear. Underdog is here. It's the concept formation. It's the ability of man, human beings, to form a logical, rational, coherent worldview, and then to be to find some security, in that worldview. Understand that here in America, and some of you are not quite old enough to kind of know, to have witnessed this and kind of experienced this, but it's fundamental to the whole MGTOW, gynocentrism, feminism, cultural war debate that we're still going through. This thing started in the 90s. This culture war started in the 90s, and we're still getting beat up for it. Yeah, we lost, incidentally. Media took over. This is what I'm talking about, and they've destroyed our ability to form valid concepts and abstractions. Because like I said, it doesn't matter if the individual message gets through. What matters is the delivery system has now seeped its way into our consciousness and is accepted as as a viable, transparent, useful means of communication. And they control it. And they control the message on it. And they even control the negative contrary messages to it. When you've got a message that you don't want to get out there, you don't shut it down, right? So like if media and popular culture hates MGTOW, and they do, they're not going to try to just shut it down. That would turn it into a martyr's cause. That would make it quite cool. No, what they do is they promote the most worthless, embarrassing, shameful aspects of the movement, and then they tear it down. So they hold it up to public scrutiny and public shame. They don't just simply try to shut it down. That doesn't work, okay? And some of the message that actually still conforms to their overall arching, concept, to their metaphysical worldview, it's allowed. That's why you've got so many videos of girls dancing on TikTok. That's why. Because even if the message within the content is, women have gotten an easy time of it, they, use their sexuality to manipulate the world around them. Even if that's your message, okay, hates what they're doing. See what I'm saying? It matters. Imagine if you were an author, said, look, and maybe 20, 30 years ago, and they said, look, you're a struggling author. We will publish your book. We'll promote it, because there's really no advertisement or anything like that. There's no internet back then. So, if main media doesn't pick it up to promote it, if a publishing house doesn't promote it, it's not going anywhere. So they say, we'll publish, we know you're a decent writer, but this is the story. The story involves gay marriage. Okay? We also need you to have a certain number of transgender people within the novel. Ideally, one of them as the hero. Here's $100,000 advance. Get back in touch with us in, 6 months. We'll get back in touch with us with a month and, and with outlines and updates and things like that. But, and in 6 months, boom, get this thing done. $100,000. You're a good writer. You can't get ahead. All you've got to do is include their subject matter. Doesn't even have to be the main theme. Would you do it? A lot of people would. Now, how about they don't come to you, they don't offer you anything, but you know that if you write a book about gay marriage and transsexualism, that popular media and culture is probably going to pick it up and run with it. But if you write a novel about an individual struggling against an oppressive state, going through their trials and tribulations, and coming out the other side as a stronger, happier individual, that's the book you want to write. Okay? Because, it puts out that good message. It plants that good seed. Which book? Which book do you write? Because, if you write the book about individual responsibility, you're not going on Oprah. They're not going to talk about it on CNN. And if they do, it's going to be in a negative light. So what do you do? And now, imagine there's tens of millions of people watching their presentation, their representation of your work, whether it be a novel about a strong individual who overcomes an authoritative state and an authoritative system that's accepted largely, it's accepted blindly for the most part, and it destroys people and it destroys our future, or the book about gay marriage, which is going to, possibly be a top seller. I don't blame the guy for writing it about gay marriage. I understand. You know what I mean? I'm not like, I understand perfectly, So that's largely the situation, that we're in now. What should I do? What should Howard Dare MGTOW do? Should Howard Dare MGTOW make videos about girls dancing on TikTok and talk about this particular individual named Chrissy and run her video for 10 minutes while I crash it for 3 or 4 minutes and then thank you guys? Because you understand what has just happened there, right? You understand that even though I might have been trying to put out a MGTOW message, the means by which I was delivering it, the girl dancing on TikTok and complaining, has in fact promoted media's agenda and undercut the building of the strong individual who can stand up to the state and have a good life. Get it? Now, with this in mind, what are you going to do? You're going to only watch, intellectual analysis of, complex subjects and be entertained by that? No, of course not. No, you're not going to do that. Well, again, I'm not saying you. I'm saying the masses of people. They're not going to do that. They're still going to want to be entertained. But I want you to have the information. I want you to be aware of it. Look, I am never here to tell another man what to do. I can't do that. That's not my place. I'm 59. I've got these experiences. Let me tell you, some of them. And make your own decisions, man. Like if you were my son, you know what I mean? It's like, Dad, what should I do? Like, well, what do you think you should do, son? What do you think's involved here? You know, make up your own mind, develop your own mind. And you understand that the media, the message, that's what it's taking away. It's taking away our ability to be strong, independent individuals who make up our own mind and determine our own values. And it's being conditioned, indoctrinated out of us. The very principles of freedom are being indoctrinated out of us so that we can have a good group. Hey, it's the same old story, man. You know, you want to live like a king and have all the things you want and never have to worry about a thing in life? No problem, man. Just live inside the kingdom, live inside the palace, you know? Just do the king's bidding. That's all. Don't threaten any of his, harem, his courtier of attractive, of women, right? Don't be doing that. And you can stay inside of the castle. And you don't ever have to worry. And if when the king says jump, you jump. You don't say, well, is this a good idea? Is this what we should be doing? No, you just jump. You can stay. And if you want to get married and have a family and the king prefers that, that woman be his, tough. You don't get to have that. So you can have everything you want, except you cannot be your own man. You cannot make up your mind for yourself. The king is going to determine what you think and what you do and how you live and what you have. You'll have enough. Or go your own way. Do it. Leave the palace. Go out on your own. Get your own food. Deal with, the troubles and the dangers of nature. Overcome them. Good luck. Good luck. And what if there are no other men that you can look to say, hey, how do you do this? Can, I come join Robin's merry men in Sherwood Forest, right? Yeah, and that's, there's some historical stuff in there too. It's real. This is King John, brother of Richard the Lionhearted, which I believe is that the first or the second? Is Richard the Lionhearted Richard the First or Richard the Second? I don't know. I know he's not Richard the Third. And the reason why I know that is because now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this son of York, and all our brows buried deep in the ocean's bosom. And now, instead of mounting barbed steeds to fight the fearful souls of adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's bedchamber to the lascivious pleasings of a lute. That is Richard the Third. Yeah. I like YouTube. Yeah, he's like one of the nastiest Shakespearean villains, right? Yeah. But yeah, so before him, right, Richard the Lionhearted decides to head off to the Crusades, right, because the Pope said, let's go do it. And he does. And his brother, King John, John takes over. And, he's like sheriff of Nottingham, right? And that's where that all happens. And then, of course, that's where the Magna Carta comes from. And, of course, you guys know that the Magna Carta is the first document, which basically asserts individual citizens' rights over the state, which says the king, he's not all powerful, right? You can't just take our land and take our women and and kill us. So it's a precursor to the Constitution, to freedom, to what Western civilization is. And, if you're thinking, oh, well, just hanging out at the Howard Dare channel, it's got some interesting things to say sometimes. No, this entire Western civilization is built on that frickin' principle, okay? Motivated self-interest. The reason why the man put the building up is because it was to his advantage to put the building up. The reason why he worked so hard and invented those things is because it was to his advantage to build and make those things. Motivated self-interest. This is the idea. This is the concept. This is the philosophy which shapes the world. This is why we have the buildings. This is why we have the technology. Not because some committee or group decided to invent television. Okay? It didn't work that way. An individual did it. Okay? So the true achievement is individual. It's you in your life. And it doesn't have to be reshaping history and the future history of mankind. It doesn't have to be that. It could be that you just figure out a faster way to put a tire on a car. And now your job, and now you have an extra hour every day, because of the time you've saved to do with as you please. Maybe you'll invent television, or maybe you'll just watch TikTok videos. It's okay. But you